You look at your phone on a Saturday night, scroll through your entire contact list, and realize with a heavy, sinking feeling that there is absolutely no one you want to call. Society tells us this is a disaster. We are constantly fed the idea that a big, loud social circle is the ultimate proof of a successful life. If you spend your weekends entirely alone, people instantly assume you are broken. They think you are deeply antisocial or hiding some dark secret. We are going to look at the hidden psychology of people who walk this path alone. By the end of this video, you will understand why a friendless life isn't always a tragedy, and how it might actually be a sign of profound psychological evolution. Let's start with the heavy weight of social expectation. From the moment we enter school, we are graded on our popularity. We are taught that being alone is the worst possible outcome. We watch movies about inseparable groups of friends. We scroll through social media feeds full of group vacations and parties. This creates a deep, quiet shame for anyone who doesn't fit the mold. You might think there is something fundamentally wrong with you. You might wonder why you don't crave the noise that everyone else seems to love. But what if your desire to be alone is actually a sign of high intelligence? This shame is based on a massive cultural misunderstanding. Being alone and feeling lonely are two completely different things. Loneliness is a painful feeling of lack. It is an ache for connection. Solitude, on the other hand, is a peaceful state of choice. It is the joy of being in your own company. Many people with no friends are not lonely at all. They have simply chosen solitude. And for many of these people, that choice is actually a powerful survival strategy. Consider how much energy it actually takes to maintain a friendship. It requires constant emotional investment. You have to reply to endless messages. You have to show up to social events when you are already exhausted. You have to navigate misunderstandings, differing opinions, and complex group dynamics. For some of the population, this is simply too much. If you are highly sensitive or naturally introverted, your brain processes social information much more deeply than others. This brings us to a psychological trait that completely changes how we view friendship. If you are an empath, a casual dinner party feels like a massive data download. You absorb the moods, anxieties, and hidden tensions of everyone in the room. Your nervous system gets overwhelmed incredibly quickly. You leave social events feeling physically drained. When you slowly cut out friendships, you are not necessarily rejecting people. You are protecting your very limited emotional battery. You are choosing quiet peace over an exhausting performance. But energy isn't the only thing you are protecting. You are also protecting your absolute authenticity. As we grow older, our tolerance for superficial things drops dramatically. In our younger years, we often make friends just to fit in. We tolerate gossip. We laugh at jokes we don't find funny. We wear social masks to ensure we aren't left behind. But psychological maturity brings a heavy, ruthless filter. You start to see right through the fake smiles. You realize that most casual interactions are just polite acts. This filter changes your entire social landscape. When you start craving a deep, meaningful connection, small talk feels completely agonizing. So, you start to pull back. You stop forcing yourself to fit into spaces where you do not belong. You drop the fake friends. You stop reaching out to people who never reach out to you. And sometimes, when the dust finally settles, you look around and realize the room is completely empty. You didn't lose your friends. You just raised your standards so high that almost no one could meet them. This pursuit of authenticity is a beautiful thing. It shows a deep level of self-awareness. It means you refuse to betray yourself just to have company on a Friday night. It means you respect yourself. But we have to look deeper. We have to dive into the shadow side of having no friends. Because while isolation is often a healthy, mature choice, it can also be a perfectly constructed disguise. Sometimes the peace of solitude is actually a highly sophisticated defense mechanism. To understand this, we need to look at the hidden trauma of hyper-independence. Think back to your earliest connections in life. Were the people you relied on truly safe? Did they keep their promises? Or did they deeply let you down? If you experienced severe betrayal in your past, your brain learned a very harsh lesson. Your nervous system wired itself to believe that people are dangerous. Your brain decided that relying on someone else is a guaranteed way to get hurt. In psychology, this is closely linked to an avoidant attachment style. You survive by convincing yourself that you simply do not need anyone. You become fiercely, rigidly independent. You tell yourself that you are better off alone, because if you have no friends, no one can ever betray your trust. If you let absolutely no one in, no one can ever leave you. Your isolation is not a sign that you don't want love. It is proof of how terrified you are of losing it. This defense mechanism actually works incredibly well. It keeps the sharp pain away. It keeps your world highly predictable and entirely safe. You control all the variables. But there is a hidden, terrible cost to this level of safety. When you build a massive fortress to keep out the bad people, you also keep out the good ones. You block out the joy, the genuine laughter, and the deep comfort of being truly seen by another human being. Human brains are biologically wired for connection. We are social creatures down to our very DNA. Our ancestors survived by sticking together in tribes. Being cast out of the tribe meant certain death. Because of this, our brains actually process social rejection in the exact same area that processes physical pain. A broken heart or a lost friendship hurts just like a broken arm, or even more. Even the most introverted, solitary person has a quiet, buried desire to be understood and loved. The silence in your house stops feeling like a peaceful retreat. It starts to feel like a holding cell. You realize that protecting yourself from pain has accidentally isolated you from life itself. But what if you don't have to live in this fortress forever? If you recognize yourself in this pattern, there is something very important you need to hear. You are entirely capable of stepping outside. You don't have to become a popular social butterfly overnight, but you can start small. You are allowed to take a tiny risk. You can let the walls down, just an inch, to see what happens. You can build quiet connections that actually nourish you instead of draining you. It is entirely possible to find people who deeply respect your need for space. You can find friends who don't demand a daily performance. You can find people who are perfectly happy sitting in silence with you. The goal is not to accumulate a massive list of contacts in your phone. The goal is to find a rare, safe harbor. You can have a life where your solitude is a joyful choice, not a fearful prison. It takes time, and it takes immense courage. But you have survived this long by being incredibly strong. You can use that exact same strength to slowly, carefully open the door. You are allowed to let people care about you. You are allowed to admit that you want a friend. You don't have to do it all on your own anymore. Having no friends can be a powerful phase of removing fake people from your life, but it can also become a lonely fortress built out of past fears. Understanding your own psychology gives you the freedom to choose whether you keep the door locked or finally open it to someone worthy of your time.